In this video, we're going to calculate the equilibrium extension for a spring that is attached to a 50-gram mass that's lying on an incline, a frictionless incline. The spring constant in this case is given. Now, once again, understand, when no forces are exerting on the spring, the equilibrium length is simply the true length of the spring. Now, also want to make sure that you realize that all springs that we're looking at are going to be massless. It's an ideal case, but it really helps. And so what we know is that our spring is massless, so its original equilibrium length is of course its own length. But once we add a mass to it, a 50-gram mass in this case, then what we realize is that the spring is going to stretch. And we are asking, what is that extension? By how much does the spring extend when it finally reaches equilibrium? So our TAT is going to be similar to the previous problem, where what we're going to do is look at forces. Since we're dealing with equilibrium, that should be an automatic thing. And let us draw the forces on this block. And what we have is a 0.05 times 9.8, which is the force of gravity pulling it down. We have contact, which is pulling it, the force between the block and the surface. And we have the force of the spring pulling it up the incline. Now we can take gravity and find the components of gravity along perpendicular to the incline and parallel to it. The parallel component ends up being 0.05 times 9.8 times sine of 37, and the perpendicular component is 0.05 times 9.8 times cosine of 37. And now that we know that the spring is in equilibrium, we need to worry only about on the parallel component and simply equate the two forces along that direction. What we get is 0.05 times 9.8 times sine of 37 is equal to the force of the spring, which happens to be 20, which is K, multiplied by the extension, the equilibrium extension. And so this gives us X is equal to 0.05 times 9.8 multiplied by 0.6, which is approximately what sine of 37 is, and divided by 20. And you can calculate this and obtain a number for this. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce energy stored in a spring, and once we know that, then we can go ahead and solve a bunch of problems that involve conservation of mechanical energy.